Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Well, hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. This is your home for organic Bible study that's artisanal and fresh. It is responsibly handled and locally sourced. This Bible study is 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week, studying the Psalms verse by verse. That's my little elevator pitch that I use for Daily Dose Radio. And I say it's in the Bible Bistro because the Bible Bistro is sort of like the overarching umbrella organization that handles not only Daily Dose Radio, but also Creek Road Baptist Pulpit and Sunday Morning Worship and the Questions Podcast and the Wisdom Podcast and so many more, School of Wisdom. So many of these are in the Bible Bistro, and today we're in the Bible Bistro, but we're studying Psalm 54. So if you have your Bible, why don't you open up to Psalm 54? Come on in here and sit down with me, and we're going to read this together. I'm going to focus today on verse 5. Now, yesterday we talked about verse 4, which begins a theme. It comes after the Selah, so the Selah is our break, a natural break in this psalm. And we have the words, "Behold, God is mine helper." So David's not depending on anybody else except for the Lord. He's depending on the Lord exclusively here for his deliverance. While the Ziphites are depending upon Saul, which is that's a crooked thing to lean on. They can't lean on Saul for very long because he'll betray you. And we come to verse 5 and we read these words, "He shall reward evil unto mine enemies, cut them off in thy truth." Now, we know that David is talking about the Ziphites here. The enemies of David now in this particular setting are the Ziphites and Saul. And David makes this, proclamation, "He shall," that is God, "he shall reward evil unto mine enemies." And then we have this sort of ejaculatory kind of statement made from, I'm sure, a heart that's full of upset and disappointment with men. He says, "Cut them off in thy truth." Well, you know what? This is something that I think that the men of the world need to maybe read this verse, because there are a lot of people today who have set themselves against the church. They are against God's people. As David said there in verse 4, "The Lord is with them that uphold my soul." And so the Lord will bless those who bless the church, but what's he going to do to those who don't bless the church? Well, he's with them that uphold my soul, verse 4. Verse 5, he rewards evil unto mine enemies. So the enemies are going to be rewarded, but they're going to be rewarded with something that they don't like. And, as David says there at the second half of 5, they're going to be cut off. The truth of God is going to be seen, and he will be glorified even in the actions of the ungodly, even as they persecute and try to destroy the church. They will be rewarded with evil. And so that's going to happen. And you can see the tumult today building over the church, especially. Now I'm going to speak from an American context because that's where I am. Now I know a lot of people, I have a lot of listeners around the world, all the way from Australia and China to Europe and Africa and South America, but I'm going to speak to this situation here in America. There are a lot of people today who are gathering their forces to attack the church, and they're calling the church white supremacists. I don't know how you do that when the church is so diverse in our country, but apparently that's what they're doing. And they're making the case they're laying the groundwork for persecution of the church in the future by saying those things. God will reward evil unto them, and he will cut them off in his truth. That, ladies and gentlemen, is certain. And so if you, no matter where you are in the world, are a member of the church and you're experiencing persecution, know this: God is on your side. He's your helper. He's with those that are for you. He is against those who are against you. because he will not let his bride suffer for very long, not at the hands of wicked men. Well, I hope that you'll join me again tomorrow. We'll look at verses 6 and 7 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.